everybody, welcome to DAC Productions and welcome to the 2025 TCA Eastern Division Pre-show. So we're here at the fall event for the pre-show, checking things out. Now I'm going to give you guys the highlights of the pre-show. There's a lot here, so I won't be able to get it all on video, but I will give you guys a highlight so you can see what to expect. And the pre-show is usually Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the beginning of the week. And you can find some great deals out here. I certainly have. You'll see that on my show haul video when I come out with that, what I bought. But at any rate, so let's go. Let's check out the pre-show, which is always in the Purple Hall. And we'll give you guys the highlights of what's here. So let's go.
Good morning. Now we're definitely waking up this morning with these model train displays. I mean, how cool is this? So much to see while you're here. This is day 3 of the pre-show, so that is open to the public 8:30 to 1 p.m. today. You're able to see all of these and a whole lot more. We've got Russell here with us, and Russell, I mean, tell us a little bit more about where we are.
Well, we're in the Purple Hall here at the fairgrounds. This is the first thing that's open at the Yard Train Fair. This runs Monday through Wednesday. It's completely free to the public. You got the day to come and see. And then we're getting into the big show on Thursday, which will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The public can come on Friday and Saturday. So in here we have over 250 tables full of all kinds of trains, small, big, little, like buses running here. And we open Sunday.
That is awesome. I know that this is just a little glimpse of the big show.
This is like a tease. If you come here, you're going to want to go see all the other 6 buildings we've got here.
Yeah, absolutely. And really quickly, I mean, what is your favorite part of the
Well, I like running them myself. Some people like collecting them, some people like building them, but I'm an operator, so I'd be that one. I'd be the guy pushing that button right there.
Oh yeah, that's so fun to push the button.
You are now an official engineer.
I'm an official engineer. I love it. I'm going to press it again. And while we're over here, we've got Ryan over here, who's the Purple Hall captain. So, Ryan, tell us a little bit about this model.
So, what we're looking at here today is this is American Flyer SKH train made by the AP Gilbert Company. The engine that's running here probably was made late 50s, early 60s. A lot of nights, a lot of small kids collect these in the 50s, 60s, grew up with a lot of this stuff. You see all kinds of different sizes we have here. This is just one example of the different sizes. If you saw earlier, I don't know if everybody saw earlier, we had a really tiny one outside we were showing. But like I said, there's many different sizes. We go O gauge, S gauge, HO, N, Z. There's all kinds of scale sizes. The public can come visit. One of the most exciting things that we're doing this year is on Saturday. On Saturday, the public can come, bring a free canned food item. Just the general public can come in and get in for free. Saturday, you can come visit the dealer halls, which is we call the purple, orange, as well as the black hall, which has a huge layout set up in it. The gentleman over there is great. They'll run really big trains compared to, we're kind of moving up in size as we go through the segment today. So it's really exciting. Like I said, general public's welcome to come. As Russell said, we just kind of get bigger and bigger as the week goes on. More and more people, more and more trains.
That is awesome, and I love that you guys are doing that canned food drive. That's a great way for people to come check things out and be able to see all the models and toys.
Yep, absolutely. It's like I said, it's really exciting for all of us, and this is a whole, we're all about the community. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Yeah, if you take a look at your screen right now, again, that pre-show is happening today, 8:30 to 1 p.m. That's open to the public free. You're able to see a little taste of the fun model displays that are here at the fair. We're going to have more information on our website, fox43.com. So, Alex, I mean, as we take it out here, I'm going to hit this button again because I'm having too much fun with it. You got to get this button away from me.
Send it down this building.
Are you rehearsing?
Apparently you've got WJ on here too.
You'll make good
They're going to take the button.